What if I told you that the voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that everyone's judging you, isn't even yours? It's a collection of programming from childhood, society, and past experiences that has absolutely nothing to do with who you actually are. What if you could delete that programming and install new software that makes you unstoppable? In the next 20 minutes, you're about to discover the exact step-by-step system to build unshakable self-confidence, eliminate social anxiety, and become the person you were meant to be. This isn't theory. This is a practical workbook that has transformed thousands of lives. Let's begin your transformation right now. Self-Confidence Workbook by Mark Phillips is not another book filled with empty motivation that fades by tomorrow. This is a practical, action-oriented guide that treats confidence building like a skill you can learn and master through specific exercises and techniques. Phillips understands that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build systematically through changing your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. Most people struggle with low self-esteem and social anxiety because they've been conditioned by years of negative programming. Critical parents, bullying, failures, rejections, and constant comparison to others have created neural pathways in your brain that automatically generate self-doubt and fear. But here's the empowering truth. If negative confidence was learned, positive confidence can be learned too. Your brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired at any age. This workbook provides the exact blueprint for that rewiring. It's organized as a step-by-step system with exercises, journaling prompts, and practical techniques you can implement immediately. You're not just reading about confidence. You're actively building it day by day through specific actions. Phillips covers everything from identifying and eliminating limiting beliefs to developing powerful body language, from overcoming social anxiety to building authentic self-esteem that doesn't depend on others' approval. What makes this workbook special is that it addresses the root causes of low confidence, not just the symptoms. You won't just learn tricks to appear confident. You'll transform your internal foundation so that genuine confidence becomes your natural state. This is deep work that creates permanent change, not temporary fixes that wear off under pressure. In this summary, we'll walk through the complete system, understanding what confidence really is, identifying what's destroying yours, eliminating limiting beliefs, developing new empowering beliefs, mastering body language and communication, overcoming social anxiety, building self-esteem, and creating lasting transformation. By the end, you'll have a complete roadmap for becoming the confident person you know you can be. Let's start building your new foundation. Understanding confidence. Phillips begins by clarifying what confidence actually is, because most people misunderstand it completely. Confidence is not arrogance, aggression, or superiority over others. True confidence is simply the belief in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. It's knowing that even if you fail, even if people reject you, even if things go wrong, you'll be okay. You'll figure it out. You'll adapt. You'll survive and even thrive. This definition is liberating because it means you don't need to be perfect to be confident. You don't need to know everything, be the best at everything, or never make mistakes. You just need to trust yourself to handle challenges and learn from failures. Confident people fail just as often as everyone else, They just don't let failure define them or stop them from trying again. Phillips distinguishes between two types of confidence: external and internal. External confidence is based on circumstances, your job title, your possessions, others' approval, your achievements. This type of confidence is fragile because it depends on things outside your control. Lose the job, face rejection, or experience failure, and external confidence crumbles instantly. Most people rely entirely on external confidence, which is why they're constantly anxious and insecure. Internal confidence comes from within. It's based on your fundamental belief in your own worth and capability, regardless of circumstances. This type of confidence is unshakable because it doesn't depend on external validation. You know you have value whether others recognize it or not. You trust your ability to handle challenges whether you succeed on the first try or not. This is the confidence Phillips teaches you to build, the kind that lasts and grows stronger over time. He explains the confidence cycle that either builds you up or tears you down. Negative cycle. Limiting beliefs create negative thoughts, which create anxious feelings, which create hesitant behavior, which produces poor results, which reinforces limiting beliefs. Positive cycle. Empowering beliefs create positive thoughts, which create confident feelings, which create bold behavior, which produces better results, which reinforces empowering beliefs. Every action you take either strengthens the negative cycle or builds the positive one. Understanding this cycle is crucial because it shows you exactly where to intervene. You can't control feelings directly. You can't just decide to feel confident and make it happen. But you can control thoughts and behaviors, which then create different feelings and results. This is why the workbook focuses heavily on changing thought patterns and taking action despite fear. These are the leverage points that transform the entire cycle. Phillips also addresses the confidence myths that keep people stuck. Myth 1. Confidence is a personality trait you're born with. Truth. It's a learned skill anyone can develop. Myth 2. Confident people never feel fear or doubt. Truth. They feel fear but act anyway. Myth 3. You need to feel confident before taking action. Truth. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Myth 4. Confidence comes from achieving success. Truth. Confidence comes from being willing to fail and trying again. Perhaps the most important insight is that confidence is not the absence of fear. It's taking action despite fear. Every time you do something that scares you, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I can handle this. Your brain rewires itself based on this evidence. The more you act despite fear, the more confident you become. This is why the workbook emphasizes taking small, confidence-building actions daily, rather than waiting to feel ready. Phillips introduces the concept of your confidence baseline, your default level of confidence in the absence of specific circumstances. Some people have a high baseline and feel generally confident unless something specifically undermines them. Others have a low baseline and feel generally insecure unless something specifically boosts them. Your baseline was set by your childhood experiences and conditioning, but it can be raised through consistent practice of the principles in this workbook. The goal isn't to become someone else or develop an artificial persona. It's to remove the layers of false programming covering your natural confident self. Children are naturally confident and uninhibited until they're taught otherwise. Your work is to unlearn the limitations and reconnect with the capable, worthy person beneath all the conditioning. This makes confidence building less about adding something new and more about removing what's blocking what's already there, identifying what's destroying your confidence. Before you can build confidence, you must identify and eliminate what's actively destroying it. Phillips provides a systematic approach to uncovering the hidden sources of your insecurity. The first destroyer is negative self-talk, the critical inner voice that constantly judges, criticizes, and doubts you. Most people don't even realize how brutally they speak to themselves internally. They would never talk to a friend the way they talk to themselves. Yet they accept this abuse as normal. Phillips explains that this inner critic was usually installed by critical parents, teachers, or other authority figures whose voices you internalized as your own. To identify your negative self-talk patterns, Phillips provides awareness exercises. For 1 week, notice and write down every self-critical thought. You'll be shocked by how frequent and harsh they are. Common patterns include, I'm not good enough. Everyone's judging me. I always mess things up. I'm so awkward. Nobody likes me. I can't do anything right. These thoughts run on autopilot, creating a constant drip of poison that erodes confidence. The second destroyer is limiting beliefs, deeply held convictions about yourself, others, and the world that hold you back. These beliefs operate subconsciously, controlling your behavior without conscious awareness. Examples include, I'm not a confident person. People like me don't succeed. I'm too old, young, inexperienced. Success requires connections I don't have. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not smart enough. Phillips provides exercises to uncover your limiting beliefs by completing statements like, I can't be confident because, and people would reject me if they knew. Your automatic answers reveal the hidden beliefs controlling your life. Once you make them conscious, you can challenge and change them. The third destroyer is past trauma and negative experiences. Childhood bullying, harsh criticism, humiliating failures, painful rejections. These experiences create emotional wounds that continue affecting you years later. Your brain stored these experiences as evidence that you're inadequate and the world is dangerous, causing you to play small and avoid risks to prevent future pain. Phillips explains that you don't need years of therapy to heal these wounds. Simple techniques like reframing the memories, forgiveness exercises, and writing letters you never send can release the emotional charge and allow you to move forward. The goal isn't to forget what happened, but to change what it means, transforming it from proof of your inadequacy to proof of your resilience. The fourth destroyer is comparison and social media. Constantly comparing yourself to others, their appearance, success, relationships, possessions, guarantees insecurity because you're always comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Social media amplifies this massively, presenting carefully curated images that create the illusion that everyone else has perfect lives while you're struggling. Phillips recommends a social media detox, or at least severely limiting exposure to platforms that trigger comparison and inadequacy. Replace scrolling time with confidence-building activities. Remember that you're seeing manipulated images and staged moments, not reality. Everyone struggles. Most people just hide it better on Instagram. The fifth destroyer is perfectionism. Believing you must be perfect to be worthy, or that mistakes prove you're inadequate, creates paralyzing anxiety and avoidance. Perfectionists procrastinate, avoid challenges, and quit when things get difficult because they can't tolerate the imperfection of the learning process. Phillips teaches that perfectionism is not high standards. It's fear of judgment disguised as ambition. The antidote to perfectionism is embracing mistakes as essential to growth. Every expert was once a clumsy beginner. Every success is built on a foundation of failures. Give yourself permission to be imperfect, to learn, to grow through trial and error. This single shift can liberate tremendous energy currently trapped in anxiety and avoidance. The sixth destroyer is lack of boundaries and people-pleasing. Constantly sacrificing your needs to please others teaches you that your needs don't matter, and others' opinions define your worth. This creates dependence on external validation and makes confidence impossible because you have no solid sense of self separate from others' approval. Phillips provides exercises for setting healthy boundaries, saying no without guilt, and prioritizing your needs without being selfish. Boundaries aren't walls that shut people out. They're clear definitions of where you end and others begin. They're essential for self-respect and confident relationships. Eliminating limiting beliefs. Once you've identified your limiting beliefs, the next step is systematically eliminating them and replacing them with empowering beliefs. Phillips provides specific techniques that work at the subconscious level where beliefs actually operate. The first technique is questioning and challenging beliefs. Most limiting beliefs have no factual basis. They're interpretations and assumptions you've accepted as truth. Phillips guides you through asking, is this belief actually true? What evidence contradicts it? What would I believe if this limitation didn't exist? How is this belief serving me? What does holding this belief cost me? For example, take the belief, I'm not a confident person. Question it. Have there been times when you felt confident? Of course, everyone has moments of confidence. So, the belief isn't absolutely true. What evidence contradicts it? Every time you've done something despite fear, spoken up when nervous, or accomplished something challenging, the belief is revealed as an overgeneralization based on selective memory that ignores contradictory evidence. The second technique is finding the positive intention behind the belief. Every limiting belief was created by your subconscious to protect you in some way, even if it now causes more harm than good. The belief, I'm not good enough, might have been created to protect you from disappointment by keeping expectations low. The belief, people will reject me, might protect you from the pain of rejection by preventing you from trying. Understanding the positive intention allows you to honor that part of yourself while finding better ways to meet that need. You can protect yourself from disappointment through resilience rather than low expectations. You can protect yourself from rejection by building self-acceptance rather than avoidance. This dissolves resistance to change because you're not fighting against yourself. You're upgrading your protection system. The third technique is reframing past evidence. Your limiting beliefs are supported by memories you've interpreted as proof of your inadequacy. But every memory can be interpreted multiple ways. The presentation where you stumbled over words can be evidence you're terrible at public speaking, or evidence you're brave for trying something difficult. The rejection can be proof you're unlovable, or proof you're willing to risk vulnerability for connection. Phillips guides you through reviewing painful memories and deliberately choosing empowering interpretations. This isn't denying what happened, it's changing what it means. Each reframe weakens the limiting belief and strengthens your confidence. The fourth technique is creating affirmations that directly counter limiting beliefs. But Phillips emphasizes that affirmations must be believable to work. Repeating, "I'm the most confident person in the world," when you feel completely insecure, creates cognitive dissonance that your subconscious rejects. Instead, use bridging affirmations that feel reachable. "I'm learning to be more confident." "I'm capable of growing my confidence." "I'm discovering my inner strength." As these feel true, upgrade to stronger affirmations. "I'm becoming confident in more areas of my life." "I trust my ability to handle challenges." "I believe in my worth and capability." Eventually you can affirm absolute confidence because your subconscious has accepted the progression. The key is meeting yourself where you are and building gradually. The fifth technique is collecting evidence for new empowering beliefs. Your brain believes what it sees repeatedly. If you want to believe "I'm capable," actively look for evidence. Every problem you've solved, every skill you've learned, every challenge you've overcome, every time you've figured something out. Write these down. Review them regularly. Your brain will start accepting the new belief as truth based on accumulated evidence. Phillips provides a powerful exercise. Every evening, write 3 confidence wins from that day. Any moment you acted despite fear, spoke up, set a boundary, tried something new, received a compliment, accomplished a task. These seem small individually, but accumulate into overwhelming evidence of your capability and worth. Your subconscious must adjust its beliefs to match the evidence you're feeding it. The sixth technique is acting as if the new belief is already true. Behavior change can precede and create belief change. When you act as a confident person would act, making eye contact, speaking clearly, taking up space, trying new things, your brain notices this behavior and adjusts its self-concept accordingly. You're literally proving to yourself through action that you can be confident. This feels uncomfortable at first because there's a gap between how you feel and how you're acting. That discomfort is the growth zone. Every time you act confident, despite feeling insecure, you're training your nervous system that this behavior is safe and possible. Over time, the feeling catches up to the behavior and authentic confidence emerges. Developing empowering beliefs. Eliminating limiting beliefs creates space, but you must fill that space with empowering beliefs that actively build your confidence. Phillips identifies the core beliefs that confident people share and provides methods to install them. The first empowering belief is, "I am inherently worthy." This means your value is not conditional on achievement, appearance, others' approval, or any external factor. You have worth simply because you exist. This belief is the foundation of unshakable confidence because nothing can threaten it. You can't lose your inherent worth, no matter what happens. Installing this belief requires separating your worth from your performance. You can fail at something without being a failure. You can make mistakes without being a mistake. You can be imperfect and still be valuable. Phillips provides mirror work exercises where you look yourself in the eyes and declare, I am worthy repeatedly until your subconscious begins accepting it. This feels awkward initially, but becomes powerful with practice. The second empowering belief is, I am capable of growth and learning. This is growth mindset, the understanding that abilities aren't fixed, but develop through effort. When you believe you can improve at anything through practice, confidence becomes inevitable because every challenge is just an opportunity to grow rather than a test of your fixed inadequacy. To install this belief, focus on your learning journey in any skill. Remember being unable to tie your shoes, then learning. Unable to read, then learning. Unable to drive, then learning. You've proven countless times that you can learn new things. Apply this evidence to current challenges. Whatever you can't do yet, you can learn. The third empowering belief is, I can handle whatever comes. This creates resilient confidence that isn't shaken by setbacks. When you trust your ability to adapt, problem solve, and persevere, fear loses its power because you're no longer catastrophizing about what might go wrong. You know that even in worst-case scenarios, you'll figure it out. Phillips guides you through reviewing past challenges you've overcome. Every difficult situation you've survived is evidence that you can handle hard things. List every challenge from childhood to present, losses, failures, rejections, disappointments, and note that you survived and grew from all of them. This evidence proves your resilience and installs the belief that you can handle future challenges. The fourth empowering belief is, my past does not define my future. Many people carry shame and limitation from past mistakes, believing those experiences determine who they are and what's possible. This belief breaks those chains. Who you were 5 years ago, yesterday, or 5 minutes ago doesn't dictate who you can become right now. Every moment is a fresh start. To install this belief, Phillips recommends writing your story in 2 versions. First, write it from the limiting perspective where past experiences prove your inadequacy. Then, rewrite it from the empowering perspective where those same experiences prove your resilience, learning, and growth. Notice how different you feel reading each version. Your story is the interpretation you choose. The fifth empowering belief is, I am responsible for my life. This might seem like pressure, but it's actually liberating. When you believe circumstances, others' actions, or bad luck control your life, you're a helpless victim. When you believe you're responsible, you're empowered to create change. You might not control what happens to you, but you control your response, and your response determines your experience. Phillips provides exercises in taking radical responsibility. Instead of blaming others or circumstances for your situation, ask, what can I do about this? And how can I grow from this? This shifts you from victim to creator, from powerless to powerful. It's not about self-blame. It's about recognizing your agency. The sixth empowering belief is, I don't need others' approval to be okay. This liberates you from the exhausting and impossible task of trying to make everyone like you. When your well-being depends on approval, you're constantly anxious because you can't control others' opinions. When you root your confidence in self-approval instead, you're free to be authentic, take risks, and live according to your values rather than others' expectations. Installing this belief requires practicing self-approval consciously. Phillips recommends ending each day by acknowledging yourself for things you did well, effort you made, and progress toward your goals. This internal approval gradually becomes more powerful than external validation, shifting your confidence from fragile external to solid internal. Body language and communication. Phillips emphasizes that confidence is communicated more through body language than words. You can say confident things, but if your body language screams insecurity, people won't believe you, and more importantly, your own nervous system won't believe you. Changing your body language is one of the fastest ways to change how you feel and how others perceive you. The first element is posture. Confident people stand tall with shoulders back, spine straight, and head level. This posture opens the chest, making breathing easier and signaling to your nervous system that you're safe and capable. Slouching collapses the chest, restricts breathing, and signals danger or defeat, which increases anxiety. Phillips provides the power posing exercise made famous by social psychology research. Stand in an expansive, powerful pose, arms raised in a V or hands on hips, feet shoulder-width apart, chest open, for 2 minutes. Studies show this actually changes your hormone levels, decreasing cortisol, stress hormone, and increasing testosterone, confidence hormone. Do this before situations where you need confidence. Your body literally creates confident chemistry. The second element is eye contact. Confident people maintain comfortable eye contact during conversations. Not staring aggressively, but not looking away constantly either. Eye contact shows you're present, interested, and unafraid. Avoiding eye contact signals anxiety, dishonesty, or low status. If eye contact feels uncomfortable, practice gradually. Start by maintaining eye contact for 3 seconds, then looking away. Gradually extend to 5 seconds, 7 seconds, until it feels natural. Practice with people you feel safe with before high-pressure situations. Over time, comfortable eye contact becomes automatic. The third element is voice. Confident people speak clearly at a moderate pace with appropriate volume. Nervous people often speak too quickly, trying to get it over with, too quietly, not taking up space, or with a rising intonation at the end of statements, turning statements into questions, seeking approval. Phillips provides vocal exercises. Practice speaking slightly slower than feels natural, lowering your pitch slightly, ending sentences with a downward intonation. Record yourself to hear the difference. Speak from your diaphragm rather than your throat for more resonant, authoritative sound. These adjustments dramatically change how others perceive you and how confident you feel. The fourth element is taking up space. Insecure people make themselves small, crossed arms and legs, hunched shoulders, minimizing their physical presence. Confident people allow themselves to take up space. Relaxed open posture, arms resting on armrests, legs uncrossed. This isn't about being obnoxious or dominating. It's about not apologizing for existing. Become aware of how you position yourself. Do you shrink into the corner or take your rightful space? Do you cross your arms protectively or let them rest naturally? Do you fidget nervously or move deliberately? Small adjustments in how you occupy space change how you feel and how others respond to you. The fifth element is gestures. Confident people gesture naturally while speaking, using their hands to emphasize points. This shows comfort and passion for what they're saying. Nervous people often freeze their hands, hide them in pockets, or fidget anxiously. Phillips recommends practicing speaking with natural hand gestures, which feels awkward initially, but becomes expressive and confident with practice. The sixth element is facial expressions. Confident people have relaxed, open facial expressions with genuine smiles that reach their eyes. Nervous people often have tense jaws, forced smiles, or anxious expressions. Practice relaxing your face, release jaw tension, soften your eyes, allow natural expressions. A genuine smile not only makes you more approachable, but actually triggers positive emotions through the facial feedback loop. Phillips emphasizes the bidirectional relationship between body language and emotion. Not only do emotions affect body language, but body language affects emotions. When you adopt confident body language, your brain receives signals that you're confident, which creates confident feelings. This is why fake it till you make it actually works. The faking eventually becomes real as your nervous system adapts to the new patterns. He provides a daily practice routine. Spend 5 minutes each morning practicing power poses, confident posture, strong eye contact in a mirror, and clear vocal tone. This primes your nervous system for confidence throughout the day. Your body learns what confidence feels like physically, making it easier to access during challenging situations. Overcoming social anxiety. Social anxiety is one of the most common confidence destroyers, and Phillips dedicates substantial attention to practical techniques for overcoming it. He explains that social anxiety comes from fear of negative evaluation. You're afraid people are judging you harshly and will reject or humiliate you. This fear triggers fight or flight responses in social situations, creating the very awkwardness you fear. The first technique is cognitive restructuring of anxious thoughts. When you're socially anxious, your mind generates catastrophic predictions. I'll say something stupid. Everyone will think I'm weird. I'll embarrass myself. Nobody wants me here. These thoughts aren't facts. They're anxiety talking. Phillips teaches you to challenge these thoughts with reality checks. Ask, is this thought based on facts or assumptions? What evidence contradicts it? What's the worst realistic outcome? Even if that happens, could I handle it? What would I tell a friend having this thought? This rational analysis disrupts the anxiety spiral and reveals that most feared outcomes are unlikely and survivable. The second technique is exposure therapy, gradually facing feared social situations in small, manageable steps. Avoiding social situations provides temporary relief, but strengthens anxiety long-term by confirming the belief that social situations are dangerous. Facing fears in small doses teaches your nervous system that these situations are safe, which reduces anxiety over time. Phillips provides an exposure hierarchy. Start with minimally anxiety-provoking situations like making eye contact with a cashier or saying hello to a neighbor. Gradually progress to moderate challenges like asking a question in class or initiating conversation at an event. Eventually work up to high-challenge situations like public speaking or attending parties alone. Each successful exposure builds confidence for the next level. The critical rule of exposure therapy: stay in the situation until anxiety decreases. If you flee when anxiety peaks, you reinforce the fear. If you stay until the anxiety naturally subsides, which it always does, you prove to your nervous system that the situation isn't dangerous. This rewires your fear response. The third technique is shifting focus from internal to external. Social anxiety involves excessive self-focus, constant monitoring of how you're coming across, what you're saying, how you look. This creates a feedback loop where self-consciousness creates awkwardness, which increases self-consciousness. The solution is redirecting attention outward to the other person and the conversation. Phillips recommends the technique of becoming genuinely curious about others. Ask questions and actually listen to answers. Notice details about people and the environment. Focus on adding value to the interaction rather than worrying about your performance. This outward focus naturally reduces self-consciousness and makes you more engaging because people appreciate genuine interest. The fourth technique is reframing the stakes. Social anxiety treats every interaction as a high-stakes test that determines your worth. But most social interactions are low stakes and quickly forgotten. That awkward thing you said, the other person probably forgot it within minutes. That rejection, that person is thinking about their own life, not judging yours. Lowering the perceived stakes reduces anxiety dramatically. Phillips suggests asking, "Will this matter in 5 years?" about anxiety-provoking situations. Almost never will that conversation, that event, or that social interaction matter long-term. This perspective helps you relax and be more present rather than treating everything as life or death. The fifth technique is preparation without over-preparation. Having a few conversation topics or questions ready reduces anxiety about awkward silences. But excessive rehearsal increases anxiety by reinforcing that social situations are dangerous and require extensive preparation. Find the middle ground, light preparation that provides confidence without feeding fear. The sixth technique is accepting awkwardness. Everyone has awkward moments. It's part of being human. Confident people experience awkwardness, but don't spiral into shame about it. They laugh it off, acknowledge it lightly, and move forward. When you can accept and even embrace awkward moments as normal rather than catastrophes, they lose their power to trigger anxiety. Phillips recommends deliberately creating small, awkward moments to desensitize yourself. Drop something in public and pick it up calmly. Say something slightly awkward and continue the conversation normally. Call the wrong person and handle it with humor. These micro-exposures prove that awkwardness isn't dangerous, which reduces anxiety about it happening spontaneously. Building authentic self-esteem. Self-esteem is the foundation of all confidence, and Phillips distinguishes between true self-esteem and false confidence based on external validation. Authentic self-esteem is unshakable because it comes from within. It's based on your fundamental belief in your worth as a human being, not on achievements, appearance, or others' opinions. The first principle of building self-esteem is self-acceptance. This means accepting yourself completely, your strengths and weaknesses, your past mistakes, your current limitations, your quirks and imperfections. Not tolerating or settling for mediocrity, but accepting where you are right now without self-judgment, while simultaneously working toward where you want to be. Phillips provides loving-kindness meditation adapted for self-esteem. Sit quietly and repeat phrases like, "May I accept myself as I am. May I be free from self-judgment. May I treat myself with compassion. May I recognize my inherent worth." This practice gradually shifts your internal relationship from self-criticism to self-acceptance, which is the foundation of solid self-esteem. The second principle is self-respect. This means honoring yourself through your choices and behaviors, keeping commitments to yourself, setting boundaries with others, prioritizing your needs and values, treating your body and time with care. Every time you honor yourself, you send the message, "I matter," which builds self-esteem. Every time you betray yourself, you send the opposite message, which erodes self-esteem. Phillips emphasizes that self-respect often requires difficult choices, saying no when you want to say yes, leaving comfortable situations that don't serve you, prioritizing long-term well-being over short-term pleasure. But these difficult choices are investments in self-esteem that compound over time into unshakable confidence. The third principle is self-compassion. Most people treat themselves far more harshly than they treat others. When friends make mistakes, they offer understanding and encouragement. When they make mistakes themselves, they engage in brutal self-criticism. Phillips teaches that self-compassion isn't self-indulgence or letting yourself off the hook. It's treating yourself with the same kindness you'd show a loved one. Practice self-compassion by noticing your self-talk and consciously shifting to kinder language. Instead of, "I'm so stupid for messing this up," try, "I'm human and learning. This mistake teaches me something valuable." Instead of, "I'm such a failure," try, "I'm disappointed in this outcome, but it doesn't define me." This shift might feel awkward initially because you're so accustomed to self-criticism, but it transforms your internal environment from hostile to supportive. The fourth principle is competence building. While self-esteem shouldn't depend entirely on achievements, there is a legitimate component of self-esteem that comes from knowing you can do things well. Building skills, mastering challenges, and accomplishing goals provides evidence of your capability, which reinforces belief in yourself. Phillips recommends deliberately building competence in areas important to you through consistent practice. Choose a skill, commit to regular practice, track your progress, and celebrate improvements. As you watch yourself progress from beginner to competent to skilled, your self-esteem naturally grows because you have concrete proof of your ability to learn and improve. The fifth principle is value living. Self-esteem is intimately connected to living according to your values. When your actions align with your values, when you're living authentically, you respect yourself and feel good about who you are. When you betray your values to please others, fit in, or take the easy path, self-esteem suffers because you're living inauthentically. Phillips provides exercises for clarifying your core values and assessing how well your life currently reflects them. Then, make specific changes to close the gaps between values and actions. This might mean difficult conversations, career changes, or relationship shifts. But living in integrity with your values creates deep satisfaction and solid self-esteem that external circumstances can't touch. The sixth principle is contribution and purpose. Humans have deep needs to matter, to make a difference, to contribute something meaningful. When you're using your gifts to serve something larger than yourself, self-esteem naturally flourishes because you have evidence that your existence has positive impact. Phillips recommends identifying ways you can contribute through your work, volunteering, mentoring, creating, or simply being present for people in your life. Focus less on what you're getting and more on what you're giving. This shift from self-focus to contribution paradoxically builds stronger self-esteem because you're providing evidence that you add value to the world. Creating lasting transformation. Phillips emphasizes that building confidence isn't about motivation or a temporary boost. It's about creating permanent transformation through consistent practice of new patterns until they become automatic. This final section provides the framework for lasting change. The first key is understanding habit formation. Confidence is ultimately a collection of habits, habitual thoughts, habitual body language, habitual behaviors. You've spent years reinforcing insecure habits, which is why they feel automatic. To create confidence habits, you need consistent repetition over time until the new patterns become just as automatic. Research shows that habits form through repetition over 21 to 66 days, depending on complexity. Phillips recommends committing to 90 days of consistent practice with the workbook exercises. This isn't about perfection. It's about showing up daily and putting in the work even when motivation is low, even when you don't see immediate results. Transformation happens through accumulation of small daily actions, not through one perfect effort. The second key is tracking and measuring progress. What gets measured gets improved. Phillips provides progress tracking systems where you rate your confidence daily in different areas, note specific wins, and observe patterns. This serves multiple purposes. It holds you accountable, shows you progress you might not otherwise notice, and reveals which techniques work best for you. Many people quit confidence building because they don't notice progress. They're comparing themselves to where they want to be instead of where they started. Tracking gives you undeniable evidence of improvement, which motivates continued effort. Even if you're only 10% more confident after a month, that's significant progress that compounds over time. The third key is environmental design. Your environment significantly impacts your confidence. Surrounding yourself with critical, negative people makes confidence nearly impossible. Surrounding yourself with supportive, growth-oriented people makes it almost inevitable. Phillips recommends auditing your environment, relationships, media consumption, physical spaces, and intentionally designing it to support your confidence goals. This might mean spending less time with people who drain you and more with those who energize you. Unfollowing social media accounts that trigger comparison and following accounts that inspire growth. Creating a physical space that reflects the confident person you're becoming. Your environment shapes you constantly, so make sure it's shaping you in directions you want to go. The fourth key is handling setbacks. You will have bad days where old insecurities resurface. You will have failures that temporarily shake your confidence. This doesn't mean you've lost progress. It means you're human. Phillips teaches that setbacks are normal parts of the growth process, not evidence that change is impossible. When setbacks happen, practice self-compassion rather than self-judgment. Acknowledge the difficulty without catastrophizing. Review your progress tracking to remind yourself how far you've come. Recommit to your practices without shame. Every confident person experiences moments of insecurity. The difference is they don't let those moments define them or derail their progress. The fifth key is identity-level change. Surface-level changes fade under pressure. Deep transformation happens when you change your identity, who you believe you are at the core. Instead of, "I want to be confident," shift to, "I am a confident person who is still developing in some areas." This subtle language change signals to your subconscious that confidence is part of your identity, not something you're trying to achieve. Phillips provides identity reinforcement exercises. Create a vision of your confident self, how they think, speak, act, and handle challenges. Write in detail who this person is. Then regularly ask yourself, what would my confident self do here? And act accordingly. Over time, the gap between current self and confident self closes as you consistently embody that identity. The sixth key is celebration and acknowledgement. Most people are quick to notice failures and slow to acknowledge wins. This trains your brain to focus on what's wrong, which destroys confidence. Phillips insists on celebrating every confidence win, no matter how small. Spoke up in a meeting? Celebrate. Made eye contact with a stranger? Celebrate. Tried something new despite fear? Celebrate. This isn't about false praise or participation trophies. It's about training your brain to notice evidence of your growing confidence. What you focus on expands. When you consistently acknowledge your courage and progress, you reinforce the identity of a confident person, which makes further progress easier and more natural. The seventh key is continuous learning and adaptation. Confidence building isn't a destination where you arrive and stop working. It's a lifelong practice of growth and development. As you master one level of confidence, new challenges will stretch you into the next level. This is good. It means you're expanding rather than stagnating. Phillips recommends regular reassessment every 90 days. What's improved? What still needs work? Which techniques are most effective? Are there new areas to address? This keeps your confidence building efforts targeted and relevant, rather than going through motions. You're continuously evolving into higher versions of yourself. Self-Confidence Workbook by Mark Phillips provides exactly what the title promises, a practical, systematic workbook for building unshakable confidence through specific exercises and techniques. This isn't motivational fluff that fades in 24 hours. This is a complete system for reprogramming your mind, transforming your beliefs, and becoming genuinely confident at the deepest level. Let's recap the complete transformation system. First, understanding that confidence is not a personality trait you're born with or without. It's a learned skill you build through consistent practice. It's not the absence of fear, but the ability to take action despite fear. It's trusting yourself to handle whatever comes, not being perfect or invincible. Second, identifying what's destroying your confidence. Negative self-talk that runs on autopilot. Limiting beliefs operating subconsciously. Unhealed past wounds. Constant comparison, especially through social media. Perfectionism that prevents action. And lack of boundaries that sacrifices your needs for others' approval. You cannot build confidence while these destroyers remain active. Third, systematically eliminating limiting beliefs by questioning their validity, understanding their protective intentions, reframing past evidence, creating believable bridging affirmations, collecting evidence for new beliefs, and acting as if new beliefs are already true until they become true. Your beliefs create your reality, so changing beliefs changes everything. Fourth, installing empowering beliefs that confident people share. Inherent worth not dependent on externals, capability for growth and learning, ability to handle challenges, freedom from past limitations, responsibility for your life, and independence from others' approval. These beliefs form the foundation of unshakable confidence. Fifth, mastering body language and communication that both signals confidence to others and creates confident feelings in yourself. Powerful posture, comfortable eye contact, clear, strong voice, taking up space unapologetically, natural gestures, and relaxed facial expressions. Your body language literally changes your brain chemistry and emotions. Sixth, overcoming social anxiety through cognitive restructuring of catastrophic thoughts, gradual exposure to feared situations, shifting focus from internal self-monitoring to external genuine interest, reframing social interactions as low stakes rather than tests of worth, light preparation without excessive rehearsal, and accepting awkwardness as normal rather than catastrophic. Seventh, building authentic self-esteem through self-acceptance of all parts of yourself, self-respect by honoring your commitments and boundaries, self-compassion instead of harsh criticism, competence building through skill development, value living by aligning actions with principles, and contribution by using your gifts to serve something meaningful. Finally, creating lasting transformation through understanding habit formation and committing to 90-day practice cycles, tracking progress to notice improvements and maintain motivation, designing your environment to support confidence, handling setbacks with self-compassion rather than quitting, shifting identity at the deepest level, celebrating every win to train your brain toward confidence, and continuous learning and adaptation as you evolve. This system works. Thousands of people have used it to transform from crippling insecurity and social anxiety to genuine confidence and self-assurance. But it only works if you actually do the work. Reading this summary gave you knowledge. Implementing the exercises and techniques in the actual workbook will give you transformation. The critical insight is that confidence is not a prerequisite for action. Action is the prerequisite for confidence. You don't wait to feel confident before trying new things, speaking up, taking risks, or putting yourself out there. You take action despite the fear, and confidence emerges as a result. Every time you do something that scares you, your brain rewires itself with new evidence that you're capable. Repeat this enough times, and confidence becomes your default state. You have two paths forward. Path 1. Continue with the same limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, and avoidance patterns that have kept you stuck. Stay in your comfort zone where it's safe, but nothing changes. Watch years pass while you remain trapped in insecurity, knowing you could be more, but never becoming it. Path 2. Commit to the work. Get the workbook and do every exercise honestly. Track your progress daily. Practice the techniques even when they feel awkward. Face fears gradually through exposure. Reprogram your beliefs systematically. Transform your body language and communication. Build genuine self-esteem. Create new confidence habits through 90 days of consistent practice. This path is harder, but leads somewhere extraordinary, to the confident, empowered person you're meant to be. The voice in your head saying you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that everyone's judging you, it's not the truth. It's old programming that can be deleted and replaced. You're not broken. You're not fundamentally flawed. You're not less than anyone else. You're simply operating with software that needs updating. This workbook is that update. Your confident self already exists. It's not something you need to create from nothing. It's something you need to uncover by removing the layers of false beliefs covering it. That natural, uninhibited confidence you had as a young child before the world taught you to doubt yourself. It's still there, waiting for you to reclaim it. Start today. Not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not next week when things are less busy, not next year when conditions are perfect. Today. Take the first small step. Do one exercise. Challenge one limiting belief. Stand in a power pose for 2 minutes. Make eye contact with one person. Speak up once when you'd normally stay silent. That single small action is the beginning of your transformation. String enough small actions together, and they compound into a completely different life. A life where you trust yourself, where you take risks knowing you can handle outcomes, where you express yourself authentically without fear of judgment, where you pursue opportunities confidently, where social situations energize rather than drain you, where you genuinely like and respect yourself. This life is available to you. The roadmap is clear. The techniques are proven. The only variable is whether you'll commit to the work. Will you?